Welcome to Fabulosity For You, and my name is Angie. If this is your first time visiting my channel, please click the subscribe button, then click the notification bell so when I upload videos, you'll be the first to know. Like this video and make a comment. This channel is about fashion, relationship advice, and lifestyle. And if this is not your first time visiting my channel, well, welcome back, my queens, and welcome to the kings out there. Welcome to all of my new subs, and welcome to my returning subs. So today is Wednesday, it's Ratchet Wednesday, and so today I will be doing the review of the 90-Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, Season 8, Episode 12 and 13. Okay, guys, so I want to first let you guys know, in case you didn't know, Angie's having a giveaway. So make sure you check it out, and if you want to join, you may do so now, but you must be a subscriber. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to the channel. Okay, so go get your snack of choice and go get your drink of choice and come back and sit with your girl Angie. Text, email, call, stick a letter in the bottle, baby, and let everybody know that Angie is on the line and I'm about to do the review. So I'm going to get right into it. Okay? I don't know about you, but in my city, it is, it's hot. It's hot outside, honey. It's about 90-something degrees out. But anyway, I'm in my cool house, and we're going to get right down to it. Okay, so we're going to start with Michael and Angela. So last week, Michael tells Angela that, hey, I moved the meeting, the interview for the visa to another city. And she was so outdone because he lied to her and told her that they moved it. And so he was explaining to her why he was trying to explain to her why she did it, but she wasn't listening. He couldn't get a word in. He also said to her, if you can't stay for 2 weeks, then you can go home and I'll stay. And that just sent Angela to flying over the cuckoo's nest. And so at the end of the day, they're arguing profusely about what's going on. And so today, well, this episode 13, they go out and they talk, and they're at a restaurant, and she's like, Michael, what's going on? And so Michael is trying to explain about the website that he's on that helped him. Was not a website, but a group chat where Nigerian people talk about how to get over into the United States, how to get a visa. And he said, by talking with them, he's learned a lot, and the best thing to do would be to go over to this other city because they're more lenient about giving out a visa. And he was like, you're not going to understand it because you don't live in the United States. You don't live in Nigeria. And she was like, Micah, I don't understand it because you don't tell me nothing. And so he goes, I'm sorry, I said that you can go back to the United States and now stay. I said it because, and as he's trying to explain, she's just getting frustrated. She said, Micah, everything coming out your mouth is a lie, Micah. I'm tired of the lies. I don't understand this group chat you in, Michael. Give me your phone. And so he was stupid enough to give her his phone. Why did he do that? Because she goes through the phone and she's like, check. What are all these checks? And he says, not what you think. It's not like money that's over in the United States. It's like it's a penny bank that all Nigerians use for a rainy day, to save money for a rainy day. So she was like, well, where's my rainy day? She was like, Michael, you told me nothing about this, Michael. I just don't believe it. So you trying to save your money. So if I put you out, you got money to do what you want to do in America. Now, I'm going to say this. Even if he, let's just say he was trying to save some money in case he got to America. And you know, they fight all the time. What's wrong with that? He's supposed to be left out in the cold with nowhere to go? Girl, bye. But so he was like trying to explain, and she just got so mad. She like went off, called him every name up under the sun, jumped her behind in the cab, and went to the hotel. So when she gets to the hotel, she really goes into the phone, and she's scrolling, and she found this white woman, and she's saying how she wants a husband. Then she sees that on this chat, they're calling it the Paradise Men. And she said, Paradise Men? Okay, so what he doing, he running a scam. He's sitting up charging these women to go to get one of these Nigerian men to get married, and they scamming them. And so she was like, oh no. So she just scrolling, and then she was like, I just don't like this. Then she had the nerve to see somebody talking about life insurance. What is a life insurance? What do you do with life insurance? And Michael is the person that's over, the administrator that's over this chat they're in, and she hears his voice talking about the life insurance when somebody dies. And she was like, if somebody dies, is he planning on killing me? She sees all the business. So then she continues to look, and then she sees her income tax information is on the chat. And she was like, are they trying to scam me? They got the wrong American. Oh my God. I mean, my thing is, if I saw that my income tax was on this chat, I would have been calling for the authorities, okay? Calling, I don't know if she has to call the embassy or what she has to do. Call where he's trying to get the visa, but that man, I would be immediately going to the authorities, because it don't take a rocket scientist to see. Yes, he's a scammer. He sees the white lady on that looking for a man, and then they all laughing in the chat about this woman, and she sees that they have put her, well, Michael has put her insurance, life insurance, her taxes on this chat. Now, if she don't understand nothing else, that should have took it home for her. So she's like, I don't know if I'm just going overboard, if I'm just reading more into this. I need somebody that don't know either one of us and explain what am I looking at. I'm sorry, girl, Angela, you really not smart. If you saw your taxes, first of all, how did he get your taxes? Let's just put that out on the table. How did Michael get your tax information? He has your tax information, and Virginia, he has your social security number. What else do you need to see? So Angela is being really, really not smart. Now, you can love a man, honey, but don't be no fool. Don't be no fool. So she meets back up with Michael later, and she's like, hey, Michael, let's just put it all out on here on the table. I see what you're doing. I don't understand everything, but it looks like you are scamming people. Are you trying to scam me, Michael? And I'm like, Do you really think he's going to tell you the truth? Angela is the biggest fool out here on the TV, on the television. Because nobody will have to explain nothing to me. Go to the authorities. That's what you need to be doing. And like I said the last time I did a review, why does she really think that Michael was really in love with her? She's 57 years old, I believe. She's 57. He's 35. What is the attraction? I don't know why these men and these women, they get these young women and men and then expect them to be in love and don't feel like it's about the money or you being scammed. Honey, I don't know if the sex is that good, but honey, if it's that good and it's driving you crazy, you don't need that sex at the end of the day. Because she's just being too big of a fool. So we just got to find out what's going on. But what it does sound like, this man is a big scammer. And that's probably why his visa was always denied. So I'm done. I'm done talking about it for today. Next, we're going to go over to Liz and Ed. So it opens up with the scene where Liz is packing her bags. It looks like she's in a hotel. Mom is packing her bags. And they're saying that it's time to go get Liz's belongings. So they're going back to Ed's house to get her belongings. So when she gets to the house, well, Liz is saying it's been a month since she's been broken up with Ed. She said the only thing Ed contacts her about is about getting her belongings. So they get to the house and Ed says, oh, hey. And she don't say nothing. She just walks around like she doesn't hear him. Of course, that's going to annoy Ed. Only thing she says to her mother is, look at this watermelon. I've been gone the whole month and this watermelon is still sitting here and it's rotten. And then the mother was like, oh, the watermelon opened up and Liz said a curse word. So he goes, what did I tell you about cursing in front of my dogs? Because he had his dog in his hand. And so she's like, look at this, Ma. Look, she's acting like she doesn't hear him. Look at this, Ma. Look at all this rotten fruit. She throws it out. She's cleaning off the counter. And I for the life of me, don't understand why she doing that. Girl, you don't live there no more. You don't have to clean that house. You don't have to throw anything out. All you needed to do was go in the room and get your belongings or wherever you have your belongings at. And so Ed said something else like, do you have a storage area? Did you rent a storage area? She was like, that's none of your business. And he was like, it is my business. He said, listen, you signed a lease and you haven't even paid me rent. You got to basically get out of here. And she said, my things will be gone on the 9th, Ed. And so what made my hat almost fly up off my head is, why in the world you living with somebody that you were engaged to and you had to sign a lease? Because I believe Ed bought the house, if I'm not mistaken. And I mentioned this before. Why did he give her a lease? He gave her a lease so he can pull her out because he probably already knew this wasn't going to work out. And she a fool. You living with your man and you got to sign the lease and pay the rent. Girl, bye. Who do that? What do they do that? Hey, I mean, I know Liz she even more crazier. And so, why would you sign a lease or be with a man to make you sign a lease to his house and he's known to throw you out? And you guys have broken up 15 times. Girl, get out of here. So, somehow or another, a smart word was spoken, and he said to Liz's mother, Liz's mother said, well, if you was man enough, and so he was like, if you would have raised your daughter right, and you abandoned her, and oh my God, Liz was like, get out of here, Ed. And so the mother was upset. They go in the bedroom. Liz is crying. She's still crying over this man. Now let me back it up. Before Liz got there, they went and spoke. Well, Ed spoke, and he was like, I'm doing good. I've moved on. I'm happy of the decision I made. I just want her to get her stuff out so I can move on. I've bought a boat, so I'm going to start partying on a boat. I'm done buying expensive cars. I'll probably feel a little bit sad when I see her, only because we've been together a long time, but not sad enough to get back with her. I am happy of the decision I made. So moving right back. So she's going in the bedroom crying and going in the bathroom. It seems so funny. And I'm like, this man don't look sad. This man is not crying for you, girl. You've been a fool. You should have never gotten back with him all those times. And then you should at least leave out with your pride. My queens and kings, never let a man that's no longer your man or woman that's no longer your woman see you sweat. She should have chopped it up, sucked it up, put on her best face and a smile and act like life is wonderful. Not go over there crying, looking like a sad puppy. And this man is looking at her and talking about her mama and her at the same time. Girl, bye. I don't feel sorry for her. So, mom is mad. She was like, well, he said he was going to do this and be this type of man for you and didn't do it. If it wasn't for you, I would have been all over Ed. Ed was like, honey, if you bring it with me, I'm going to bring it back to you. And so, honey, at the end of the day, Ed wasn't playing with her. Ed want her out the house. Now, Ed really should have, when he saw the mother was there, they was packing, they wasn't bothering nothing, he just should have went out the room. But he wants to get her agitated, and that's exactly what he did. So they end up packing their things, so we just have to wait and see what happens next week. Next, we're going to go to Jasmine and Gino. So last week was a trip. They went to a Gino's family reunion or family gathering, and he asked her because she had been mad at him for not paying $1,200 for her to go into this pageant. Now, a pageant to me, as far as I'm concerned, is for young women. This woman is 35 years old. Why does she need to be in a pageant? She's sitting up crying that her children need to come over. He got to pay to get the lawyers to look at the papers. He has to pay to do this. You know, so why is she spending money, $1,200 on a pageant? I am with Gino. I wouldn't have been spending no $1,200 on a pageant. She's too old for that. They got way more things to do than spend it on a pageant. $1,200 is a nice piece of change. So she wasn't speaking to him, and so he was like, if we go to this reunion with my family, are you gonna keep this up? And so anyway, they get there, and she's spilling her guts, saying he wouldn't let her go to the pageant, that she's used to working and taking care of herself. From what I know, Gino been taking care of her for at least 3 years, paying for her apartment in an apartment way up in the sky, a penthouse, paying for everything. So when was you supposed to be independent? I guess before you met Gino, right? So she's put this show on. And so I've been an independent woman, and he's trying to take that away. And he doesn't let me work out every day. He doesn't let me do this. He won't let me be in the pageant. That's the only thing that brought me joy. Girl, bye. And so she's putting on this, she's making Gino look bad, and she's saying that they fight and all of the things. And they are taking sympathy with her. And so Gino then brings up how she talks to him, and it makes him not want to touch her. So, you know, I guess she opened the door by telling the business that he felt comfortable talking about him not touching her. And I wouldn't have said that. And she was real mad that he said that. And so she was like, let's keep this, look at me. He doesn't touch me. And his uncles are looking like at Gino like he a fool. But I can say this, if somebody's constantly cursing at you, hollering at you, talking bad to you, I don't care how you look. Sometimes you don't want to have sex. Okay? But I do see that Gino, he looked like he got a problem with sex. That there could be a problem, but I can also understand him saying she's always talking to me and demasculating me. And so no, I don't want to have sex. So later they get back and he's upset and she's upset. So it leads to this week, they're going to get a wash machine because the wash machine went out. And during that, she's upset and he's happy to say, listen, I paid the $1,200 for you to go to be in the pageant. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then he says, I talked to my uncle and he made me see that that's what I should do. And so the uncle's a father figure and the uncle was like, you should do it. That'll be less arguments if it's making her happy. And so she then gets upset and was like, wow, it takes your uncle to talk to you to do something for me. I should be thanking your uncle. A real man will do this and do that. And when she started talking like that, he was very upset. And he was like, listen, here you go again. If I can do that for you, you should be able to quit starting arguments and hitting below the belt and making me feel bad on the things that you're saying to me. And so she just went totally off. You're not a man and all this kind of stuff. Honey, he was a doggone fool for paying for the pageant when they got other things to pay for and this man is not working. Girl, bye. He a fool. Ain't no way in the world I wouldn't pay for the pageant. And then she's still talking crap to him. So he walked out. He didn't buy a washing machine. He walked out. He said, I'm sick and tired of the way you talk to me. And so she said, well, let me tell you about a real man. He was like, oh, let me tell you about a real woman. A real woman is soft. A real woman knows how to talk to her man. And so, honey, we just have to see what happens next week. But I just feel like, well, first of all, he got what he paid for, honey. He paid for her. He paid money for her. He paid for her rent. He lived beyond his means. He quit his job to be with her. And she been acting like that from day one. I don't understand. If a woman or a man is talking crazy with you before you get married, you really believe they're going to stop talking crazy to you? So you knew who she was when you married her. So I don't feel sorry for Gino, but I just think Gino is a doggone fool, in my opinion. So we're going to move right along to Sophie and Rob. So Sophie is with her mom and telling all the business, okay? She tells her mom about when they was in the sex shop and he made her feel bad and all of the things. And she tells her mom that he told her that his friend thought that she married him to get a green card. To get a visa. And the mother was livid. Oh, well, we're from London. Why would we have to do that? We get free health care. We get this. We have money. Well, you still in the United States living if it was all that what you saying. But I don't like Sophie because Sophie tells too much of her business. Not just to her mother. It's okay to have a confidant. But when you go around telling everybody your business and turning these people against him, what type of advice you think you're going to give? You're going to get, you need to leave him. You're going to get, hey, he ain't no good. He's a monster. Mama is going in on Rob. Rob don't have a chance. And it's all Sophie's fault. Now, Sophie's a young girl, and for the young women out there and for the older women that just don't know no better, quit telling your personal business in your marriage. This is not your boyfriend. This is your husband. And the last thing you want is everybody to be turned against him. Because when you guys make up, guess what? They still thinking about what you said and having bad feelings and thought about your man. So Sophie's mom, Claire decides, I want to talk to Rob. Because if your daddy was here, then he would be talking to him. I'm going to talk to him and tell him what I don't appreciate, how he treating you and make you feel bad. And she was dumb enough to let her go. So they met up at a restaurant, and Rob is thinking he's going to be talking to Sophie, and then it's her mom there, and she just goes off from jump. And he's taking it like a man. He was like, well, that's not true. And he steady trying to defend himself. And Sophie even stepped in and was like, well, Ma, I really wasn't like that, at the sex shop. He didn't really intentionally try to make me feel bad. Now, when Rob walked in, he gave Sophie a hug. He told her she looked beautiful. He said, I like your dress. And when they was in counseling, she was saying he didn't do none of those things. So it was an improvement with Rob. He said all those things to Sophie. He tried to be nice to the mother, come over to the mother and give her a hug. And she was like, no, I don't want no hug from you. Now, they haven't seen each other since they got married, since the wedding. So I got to give it to Rob. He came in there being nice, being polite, but it was the mother that was throwing all the daggers at him. She was basically saying he was nothing. He's evil. He needs to go on about his business. He don't know how to be a man. Sophie tried to stop her mother, but she couldn't. So it was just so much somebody gonna take off of her. So when she said she don't need nobody like you, she need a man, a good man, and he was like, you never even had a good man. So who are you to say what a good man? How would you know what a good man is? So he thought he threw a dagger back at her, and I'm in agreement because the man I saw her with, he looked real tricked out. He didn't look like he was no good man, honey. So she need to back it up. She was already drinking. Maybe the drink got to her, but she was really terrible to Rob. And I'm sorry, Sophie should never brought her mother there or put her mother in it. And so the mother was, I just feel bad that you with him. He had a chance to prove he changed, and he came after me. I can't stand Sophie's mother. Sophie's mother didn't even raise her. Sophie's mother is a trip. And Sophie is a married woman and a grown woman at that. And so she should have just listened to Sophie and let Sophie make her own decisions. He didn't put no hands on her from what we know. And she loves him. So I don't like Claire. And so Sophie came back to Rob, and she tried to give him fever. Well, you got me in the middle of you two. He was like, I did not get in the middle. Well, you talk to my mom bad like that. She started it. How long was I going to put up with that? Well, you need to go apologize. He was like, listen, this is not the right time. If you and I work things out and get in a better place, then I don't have no problems with trying to mend fences. So I'm going to have to give the thumbs up to Rob this time, because Mama was out of order, and daughter needs to keep her business to herself. So we're going to go over to Patrick and Thais. Okay, so last week, Patrick went to his father's house because him and Thais and John, because he was thinking about having his baby girl's birthday party at the ranch. It's a beautiful ranch, a beautiful scenery. And they were, Thais was like, this is a 2-hour ride. I don't think this will be the right place. But they got there. It's beautiful. The dad grabbed the baby girl, the granddaughter, and said this would be a great place for the party, but you need to do some painting around here. You need to put some new rocks around the landscaping, and had all of these things for him to pay for and do around the ranch. So John was like, I don't think anybody cares about rocks at a baby party. And John was basically busting him out. John was like, why would you first of all, charge your son money to have his daughter's birthday party and you the grandfather? You got an awfully nice shirt on, look like you got money to me. He was busting him out left and right. So they left the ranch, and this week they talk about, they're in the car, and Patrick is like, I'm on Thais' side. Your father is using you. And I think it's awful that he wanted you to fix the ranch up for him in order for you to have this party. So he was like, well, I'm not going to have the party because that's too much money. And Thais was happy. She was like, right, that's too much money. And so John go on to say, and I can't believe he's charging you $20,000 for the apartment that you don't hardly stay in. And Thais was like, and he stays in the apartment. And he was like, what? And Patrick was like, yeah, he washes his clothes. The washing machine is considered luxury here. And he comes and he does, when I'm not around here, he does it. And he's charging you money. You need to get rid of the apartment and save your money. And when you're ready to buy something out here, that'll be good. You can leave it to your daughter when she gets older. And he was like, well, I'm not ready to do all of that. I feel like that's home to me. You know, it's sentimental values. John was like, sentimental values? How you have sentimental values? And he was like, because my baby pictures are there. The when I grew up was there, the pictures. And when I come in, it just makes it home. He said, you can pack them pictures up and take them wherever you want and have home. He was like, well, I'm not going to do it. And you guys aren't going to convince me. And he was like, I'm not trying to convince you now. Do what you want to do. So then later that day, they have to meet. The families are coming together. Thais' family, the mother, her father, and then Patrick's family, his dad, and John and everybody are coming together to meet each other. So they get together, and Thais' father comes in last, and the dad, when he came in, well, John was a trip. Let me just back it up. When John met Thais' mother, who didn't raise her, he's talking, loud. And he doesn't speak Portuguese. And he's like, I'm brother. Sounded real crazy. And they was like, you don't have to talk loud. So then Thais' father come in, and he was like, oh, he don't understand English. I can say anything to him. And he was laughing. And then John was like, oh, wow. I wonder if he must like me or something. And Patrick was looking all crazy. And so his father comes in, Patrick's father comes in, and Thais' daddy went right in. He was like, yeah, I heard that you charged your son $20,000 to live in an apartment. Who do that? Where they do that at? Then he was like, and I heard that you gonna try to charge him to have your granddaughter's birthday party on your ranch. And he was like, listen here, that ain't none of your business. This don't have nothing to do with you. And so Patrick was getting upset because Patrick was like, listen, this is my father, and it really don't have anything to do with Thais' father. And so they both was mad that Thais' father opened his mouth, but I'm not mad about it because I do not like Patrick's father. And Patrick did explain in the car on the way there that his mother died a couple of weeks ago, and that's sorry to hear that. And so he feels like the only parent he has is his father. And if he got to pay money to help his father out, he really don't care. Now, my thing is, your father didn't raise you. Your father left you. Your father should be the one trying to get you back in his life and, if anything, give you nice things. Not you having to do that, and he wasn't even in your life. And every time he comes around, he's asking for money. He's asking you to do this. He's asking you to do that. He's charging you for his own granddaughters to have a birthday party at his ranch. His daddy is scandalous. And I would have left my father right where he was at. Now, what he needs to start saying is no. And if his father don't want to be in his life, then so be it. So I get what John is saying, but then I don't get it. Because his father is using him and act like he don't even care about the grandbaby. So we just have to see what happens next week. So next, we're going to go to Kobe and Emily. Okay, so Kobe and Emily, last week, Emily wanted to get together with Kobe's ex-girlfriend. She want Kobe to put it together because the friends had said that Kobe was still dating his girlfriend when he met her, and she was like taken aback. I thought it was so stupid to ask this man to get together with his ex-girlfriend. I personally, if I was Kobe, wouldn't have done it. But this week, they sitting up at the park waiting on the ex-girlfriend to come so she can ask questions. And so Kobe is like really, really outdone. As he was like, we're married, we have children. What difference does it make? And so she was like, well, it makes a difference. It makes a difference to me. I want to know if you've been telling me the truth. And I'm like, this is just another form of control. She wants to control whether he tells the truth or not. He's like, listen, I never asked you about your past men. And let me tell you something. Emily did say that she was a wild child, so you know she had men. And he not asked questioning her about it. So why would she want to question him about it? Well, I just want to know. I just want to know if you've been honest with me. So two women walked past and she was like, oh my God, did she bring her friend? And if she did bring her friend, Ann, is that her? So he was like, that's not her. And I told her to come at 4:15. 4 o'clock is 4:15. I really don't think she's going to come. And so she was like, I need to know answers before I leave. Tell me the truth. Before I got knocked up, or when I got knocked up, was you still dating her? And so he was like, this is crazy. He said, listen, when I did not come out and say we was broke up, but I was not around, okay? And when you told me I was locked up, you was knocked up, I called her and I said, listen, my life was moving in different directions and I'm moving on with my life. And she was like, I just feel sorry for her. You just left her hanging all that time. How could you do that? And he was like, listen, are you trying to ruin our trip? Are you trying to ruin my time in Cameroon? I've been gone for 2 years. Well, I just feel like, did you marry me? Did you marry me and still have part of your heart somewhere else? Girl, she was sickening. First of all, never let another woman your man been out with see you sweat. That shows she just got I think she has so low self-esteem if you have to do all of that. If I was that girl, I wouldn't have came either. Who would? I wish my ex would call me talking about he want me to meet him and his wife out to ask some questions. Girl, she sound like a fool. So I'm just done talking about this because it just was, to me, it was very, very childish. And if I was Kobe, I wouldn't have even entertained that. Okay, so last but not least, we're going to go with Manuel and Ashley. So last week, Ashley went to see a lawyer in regards to a post-nut because her friend said he be asking you for all of this money and you don't know where it is. You need a post-nut. Manuel was upset about it, but said, okay, let's go to the lawyer. They go to the lawyer. He finds out she has $100,000 in debt with student loans. His hair blew back on that. So this week, they are talking and they're on their way to the store, and he's like saying that you say, I'm not honest. I don't tell all the business, my business. I'm private. Well, so are you. You sat up and kept that secret from me. Here I am starting a marriage with you, and you in $100,000 debt. And she was like, it's a student loan debt. It's different from credit cards. He said, it's a debt, and you should have told me about it. And so she was like, I did tell you about it. You must have forgot. And he was like, $100,000? You supposed to be a witch. Are you a doctor? Did you go to medical school? Who has that big of a debt? And honey, he was turning the tables around, and she was looking at him like, you really doing this? You really trying to turn the tables on me? And yes, he was. And yes, he did. So he started talking and saying, I need another $300. And so she was like, for what? My brother needs it. And so she was like, didn't I just give you $1,000 last week? What is this money for? He said, it's not important. He also goes in and says that a part of their agreement to get married was that she was supposed to send money back to his family. Now, my head almost fell off my head because I'm like, girl, why would you make a promise like that to a man that you're going to send his family money in order for him to marry you? I'm telling you, she's trying to hold on to this man. It's some desperate women out there. Why would you do that? And so that's why he asking. So she was like, you know what? Since you can't tell me why, then the bank is not your bank because this is my money. So no, I'm not giving your family no money. And he was looking like, what? And so congratulations to you, Ashley, because you should have said that from day one. And ain't no way in the world I would have sent $1,000. When you start making money in the United States, then you can start sending some of your money over to the to your country. He's talking about he paid child support. He got to give for his parents and whatever family member. Girl, bye. You probably didn't do all of that when you was in your country. So no, she was being a fool. I'm glad she put her foot down and said no. So that's all I have. That's all I got. I hope you enjoyed this review, and thank you for watching my channel.